I'm super excited to
Yeah, have you
take.
got KSD fever as well?
We do have KSD fever. Yeah, the event is like a month and a half away. But we wanted to come to you live and talk to you about something new coming to KSD this year. It's a third track, but it is not typical. So Janine, what is the track that's coming?
Oh, it's a track, but it's not a track. So we heard, over the years of KSD that, two tracks work well. And, as a regular conference goer, I don't like that moment where you're seeing all of these options. What do I go to? And so the thought of having two tracks, yeah, great. However, we've had so many submissions this year, and it's really sparked our ideas, from speaking to people in the community and hearing all of the fantastic topics, and especially with, the way the world is as well, that we thought, let's experiment and throw in a third track that's not a third track. So yeah, we called it the Fringe. Quite inspired by the Edinburgh Fringe and other sort of events in the UK where there's like the main thing, but then there's stuff on the side, and the stuff on the side is that kind of edge space to do something a little bit different, a little bit quirky, a little bit not your usual kind of event. So we've tried to encapsulate that spirit and bring it to KSD this year with, I suppose, a smorgasbord of experiences, let's say.
I Yeah, I am super excited for this because we've been talking about this a lot and going back and forth. And one of the things that I really like about it is when I think about the people in my life who would identify more as an introvert, who find it terribly awkward networking, and you have to go up to the cocktail table and nervously break in, or you end up just like chilling on the side and whipping your phone out. What I love about this third track is that it breaks down those barriers to connection. So, with the different meetups that are happening, like let's say for pharma, finding people from your industry, it just makes sense to walk up and go there. And it makes it less awkward. Or somehow looking at KM standards has turned into a fairground. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, roll up, come and hear about your KM standards. Exactly. And and on that point, that this was a moment for me when I was talking to the presenters, the deliverers of this experience, shall we say. And it's given a lot of people in our community new or a different kind of stage to express their knowledge, their messages, and connect with people in different ways. So loved what you said there about kind of the awkwardness, or the how people gather. I think we've kind of blown that apart with this Fringe session. And yeah, I remember last year there was a lovely phrase somebody said, that KSD sort of, we help to manufacture the space for connection, and that really stuck in my mind. And I thought, not so much how do we dial that up, but how do we, I suppose, enhance, or or play to the way people like to connect naturally, to remove all of that awkward stuff. So when our presenter said, "Oh well, let's have a fairground," brilliant, that's what we need. Yeah, so. And I say this a lot. You all know I'm really into my music and my festivals, and this is what you get when you bring a festival goer with, an event planner and a knowledge manager. I think I've kind of stolen a lot of the ideas from, yeah, going to rock festivals and brought them to KSD. So
Like a good knowledge manager, you're taken from here and
exactly, I'm just doing what, I've been trained to do. Uh,
yeah, no, practice what we preach. And the other thing I love about this is it really is about wisdom, the human spirit. There's soul injected into the Fringe. And I think that's really important because people talk a lot about that now with AI, what makes humans different. And we're not just talking about that at Knowledge Summit. We've actually set the conditions and created this third track that's not a track as a way to nurture those things, to bring out the whole person of all the quirkiness, people's creativity. Like we're having a art auction, poetry readings, storytelling.
Oh,
Um,
and a showcase, so of a kind of new sort of knowledge innovation extravaganza. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a show and tell, a conversation, like you say, the creative aspect with the stories and the poetry. Yeah, I was just how can I put it? I get a bit emotional thinking about this actually. When we close the call for speakers and you look at what everybody's submitted and you see people's personalities and you realize the richness of wisdom, knowledge, creativity in our field, and the we can offer different stages to showcase our community. And you're right that this sort of creative element, I wanted to bring that to KSD this year, where we're given the kind of stage that somebody needs, to showcase, that their creativity and their professional wares, as it were. So, so yeah, expect a very sort of not a very informal, uh, an immersive experience, should we say?
yes. Yes, and I don't wanna forget to talk about the Talk to Fionn sessions because that was a huge, huge golden nugget from last year that people loved, and it is still we are bringing it back, um, this year as well, and it's part of the Fringe. So, I think this is so cool, like, you can just go up and talk to any KM legend and pick their brain.
Exactly. And it's the whole concept of this fringe really stemmed from the Fiance sessions last year. Observing how that organically took place. It was beautiful, just seeing people come together, all of the sort of I'm gonna say boundaries and all that, I don't know, people just came together and had such rich conversations, and it was real, it was a real memory, not just for attendees, but the Fions as well. And I don't think it was just because they were wearing a nice cloak, because that was what
Well, that
some
helped.
that helped. That helped. So yeah, we have a bit of role play in there as well, and I think we're going to have a bigger and better cloak this year, and a really interesting space for the Fions as well. So we've amplified that. Um, but yeah, it was just the way people connect, and the moments that people can have, and we kind of wanted to dial that up. So the Fion sessions are the main part of the Fringe again this year, taking place alongside the main track sessions. They are for smaller groups, so there's sort of a special sort of setup there. And then obviously in the breaks and in the gaps, we've got these additional events as well. But yeah, I think just uh, giving people a different stage this year. I'm looking forward to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, me too. And I was just thinking about the community sessions as well, because one of the things that we heard last year that we wanted to respond to was what about newcomers to the field of KM? And we know that there's an increase in people entering into the field through university registrations that are up for knowledge management degrees. And so I'm really excited about the community session KM 101, which is also part of the Fringe, which I think has a really cool story because Stan and Amy, who met at Knowledge Summit last year, and ended off spinning off into a mentorship that still continues on today, like a year later. And now they're delivering a session together to speak to those newcomers and tell you, like, what things do you need to survive in knowledge management?
Exactly, because we're discussing some pretty meaty topics this year, and I think I think back to, when I was cutting my teeth in knowledge management, if I was going to show up on day one and be faced with all of these topics, you need a little bit of context. So I thoroughly advise people to go to Stan and Amy's session if they're looking for that grounding before they kind of get into the meaty topics. And obviously they'll be around through the week, for the week. It feels like a week through the 2 days, as well. And it was something that you mentioned about these community sessions and sort of bringing people together again. I'm hearing a lot of people's networks are changing this year, whether that be moving jobs, being made redundant, or you know, the world closing, in and down around them with everything that's going on. So another thing that I think this Fringe brings, especially in the breaks that we've got, is the chance to meet up with your tribe. So your sector, or are you moving into a different sector? We're going to help you connect with those people. So through these, I suppose, your informal networks that you can build through the event, we're kind of making a little bit of a moment for those. So yeah, I would say anybody who's networkless, or you're changing your network, something's evolving, this is the place you need to be for those 2 days, because it's not going to be awkward in meeting people. This I suppose this cross sharing of ideas from different sectors under very unusual circumstances. I'm sure it would enrich your career going forward.
Yeah, I think it's all coming together, Janine, to the point of like people are saying like I have to be there. Like I want to be there. I want to be in Dublin June 29, 30, and then of course the day before for all the pre-summit activities.
You're looking forward to it, yeah. I definitely think there's a few sort of late nights ahead of us, Sierra, while we get everything planned. But would we have it any other way? I think not.
No.
Roll on June for all of this. So yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, if anybody listening to this, if you've got any questions, or you want to sort of ask us any particular things for your requirements, send us an email to info@knowledgesummitdublin.com, or hit us up on LinkedIn and we'll get back in touch. It's primarily, we want you to be there, and we want you to have this experience with us and come and be part of our Dublin tribe, which now covers quite a lot of the world now, doesn't it, Sierra? I'm so excited to see everybody come out to the registration desk and get their badge and go off and have a great time. Yeah, really look
All
forward
right.
to it.
Well, thanks, Janine. And we hope to see you there at the Fringe. Come say hi to us. You've probably been interfacing with us over email. So we're excited to
Mhm.
put faces to names.
Exactly.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Bye, Janine.
Thanks. Bye.